So I often will get together with young men just to coach and to mentor them. And I got a call, or I got a text message from a kid who wanted to get together. And so we decided that we're going to meet at Famous Dave's. And
What's that?
Famous Dave's is a barbecue place that is no longer in Lansing, unfortunately. But, so going into that lunch, I had prayed about it, and I said, God, use me. This young man doesn't know Jesus, okay? So if there's an opportunity, give me the words to say. Give me the words to say. So the day came, and we met, and for probably the first hour, it was just me listening. What's going on in your life? Just catching up, right? Getting to know him a little bit. And about an hour into our talk, this was the burning bush for me. Because he says this, and again, someone who doesn't know the Lord, never gone to church, doesn't know Jesus, says, I've been thinking about getting a Bible. Okay? So I said, God, wow, there's my sign. There's where I'm supposed to say something. And I'm supposed to begin to share the story about you. And so for the next 2 hours, we had a napkin on the table, and I had a pen. And I was just drawing out the salvation, how it works. We're sinners. God has sent his perfect Son to die for the sins of you and I and everyone. And all we have to do is to believe and to trust him, to put our faith in him. And so this went on for 2 more hours. So 3 hours into this. And keep in mind, we're sitting in a restaurant, and so there's people all around. And I say, does this make sense? She's like, I've never heard this message before. I'm 20-some years old, and I've never heard this story about Jesus. And so I said, how would you like to pray to trust Jesus as your Savior? He said, absolutely, I would. I said, how about if we go out to my car? And so that day, keep in mind, I'm meeting him for the first time. And he trusts Jesus as a Savior that day. I didn't know what was going to happen when I got up that morning. All I knew is that God, give me the words to say. Now, what I didn't tell you in this story is that my daughter was dating this young man. As a father, so my daughter, who knows Jesus, is dating somebody who doesn't know Jesus. So as a father, it's kind of scary, right? So the fact that he trusts Jesus as his Savior is a big deal. Guess what happened 2 months ago?
They got married. Is that
They got married. 2 months ago, they got married. And at the wedding reception, his name is Ralphy. Ralphy, say hi to Ralphy. Ralphie got to share his testimony. Ralphie got to share his story, his journey to come to know Jesus to 150 people. There was a lot of tears. There's a lot of people saying, wow. Because a lot of people didn't know Jesus that were at this wedding. A lot of people. And so I don't know where this story ends. All that I know is that on that day, at that time, that was a big deal. That was a burning bush. If I don't have that conversation, now I don't want to say God can't figure it out in other ways, but that was a pretty big deal, right? And again, I don't know where the story ends here, but it's a pretty cool story that's going on, right? So